Hi, my name is Vena. I'm originally from Rare, but I live in Nandi. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm John from Kornabuan, Tafua. I love listening to Today FM. It rocks.
Bula, I'm Teopola.
Bula, I'm Agnesi.
We love listening to Today FM because it rocks in Ba.
Bula, my name is Tisa. I've been listening to Today FM.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Tonight, Suva High Court comes down hard on drug cultivators. Rapist cop sent away for 12 years. And USA clarifies fake visa issue.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
In what could be the harshest sentence in recent times, the Suva High Court has jailed two Wainimbuka men for almost 20 years for growing marijuana. Waisake Kalolia has been sentenced for 19 years, while Kaminieli Nangeleda has been jailed for 18 years for cultivating more than 160 kilograms of marijuana with a street value of more than $1.5 million. Shireen Shivan reports.
Waisake Kalolia and Kaminieli Nangeleda unlawfully cultivated more than 400 marijuana plants at their farms. Both were arrested in a police raid in Wainimbuka early last year. The marijuana was found following a search of their property. In his ruling this morning, Judge Justice Salesi Temo said the amount of drugs in this case is huge and the society views unlawful cultivation of illicit drugs as very serious. The two will be eligible for parole after serving 15 years. They have 30 days to appeal the sentence. Meanwhile, Justice Temo ordered that the confiscated drugs be destroyed by police in the presence of the representatives from the office of the registrar. Sharin Shivan, FBC News.
And staying in court, a former police officer, Michael Shalendra Pratap, will spend the next 12 years and 11 months in prison for raping a 14-year-old student last year. Pratap, who was sentenced this morning, was convicted for 3 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault. Shireen Shivan again with this report.
Very good.
42-year-old Michael Shalendra Pratap on the 22nd of January 2016 dragged the victim to the old police gym in Suva, where he raped her. The victim was afraid to inform her parents about the incident, thinking they will get angry on her. She later gained confidence and approached a medical staff at the police clinic, asking her whether it is right for a police officer to sexually assault another officer's daughter. Upon questioning, she relayed the incident to the medical staff, who then reported the matter. While sentencing Pratap this morning, Judge Justice Vincent Pereira said Pratap was well aware of the risks associated with the offence. He also said that rape is one of the worst forms of sexual assault, especially when it involves a minor. Pratap will have to serve 11 years and 11 months in prison before he is eligible for parole. Sharin Shivan, FBC News.
The U.S. Embassy has spoken out against fake news on a visa quota for Fiji. Numerous online articles claim that President Donald Trump's travel ban for designated countries also affects Fijians. U.S. Ambassador to Fiji Judith Sefkin says this information is false and that they are aware of the website alleging that America has instituted a limit of 100 visas for Fiji per year. Sefkin advises the public to visit their website for any information on travel to the U.S. Australian Assistant Minister for Trade, Tourism and Investment Keith Pitt is confident that the 8 long years of negotiations for PACER Plus will reach an amicable conclusion this year. The minister met with his Fijian counterpart Fayaz Koya today and says the results were fruitful. Fiji had withdrawn from PACER Plus negotiations in New Zealand last year after the Pacific Islands Forum excluded it from PACER Plus meetings, but rejoined on its own terms as an equal partner, demanding more discussions on certain issues. Minister Pitt chose not to divulge what was discussed in his meeting with Koya today, only saying Australia respects Fiji as a sovereign nation and expects it to make its own decisions.
Of course, like many of the other countries, we'd be very pleased if Fiji came on board as a foundation country in PACER Plus. However, we also recognise that 8 years of negotiations is substantial and we need to bring those negotiations to a conclusion. It's our intention to push forward with that agenda.
Still ahead, drop in Australia dollar impacts Fijian industry, and Pacific women talk climate change.
मेरा नाम कमल रोशनी है। हम लोगों में रहते हैं और मिर्ची एफएम सबसे बेस्ट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम मेसी है, हम गोल्ड टाउन तापुआ में रहता है और मिर्ची इज हॉट इन तापुआ।
Hi, we bad girls. We love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
निवेश तवरा में रहता हूँ, सुनता है यहाँ मिर्ची एफएम is very hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
The declining Australian dollar is having an adverse effect on our textile clothing and footwear industry, which sells the bulk of its goods to the land down under. The manufacturers are feeling the heat as the price of raw materials increase because of the rising US dollar, while their sell price decreases due to the fall of the Aussie dollar. Ritika Pratap reports.
The industry is worried. Import prices are up and export prices are declining.
On one side, we're having to pay a higher cost for raw materials, and when we're exporting in Australian dollars, we're receiving less. So we're actually getting a double whammy. So we are in a bit of a difficult situation at the moment.
Although the industry is steady, earning around $100 million in exports annually for a few years, it's the lack of growth that's concerning.
With Pacer Plus and a few other things still being in negotiation, even with our MSG Trade Agreement 3, we do export out to the States and a few other factories all over the world. But I think Fiji has created a niche market.
With steady sales in Australia and New Zealand, the industry is looking to expand into other MSG countries. Manufacturers are expected to take their products into markets such as Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu and Solomon Islands.
The way to tap into these markets would be to participate in some trade fairs and also advertise through regional magazines, and also keep an eye out in these markets for uniform contracts and government contracts that are related to our industry.
The Australian dollar has declined by 18% in the last 18 months. If this trend continues, industry earnings will decrease, unless, of course, the present political situation in the US leads to a decline in the American dollar. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
China has invested millions of dollars in Fiji, employing more than 1,000 locals in the last 3 years. Trade Investment Minister Fayaz Koya says this sudden interest in Fiji has bolstered the local economy and resulted in China becoming our biggest source of foreign direct investment. Kelly Vadala reports.
Many Chinese in the country have established their businesses in areas of tourism, agriculture, construction and education.
For 2016, we've got the highest number of projects that have been registered, about 150 order. So by the end of the year 2017, this year, we'll see the end and give you the results. And in terms of creation of jobs, you're looking probably at about 1,400 odd jobs. And in between 2010 and 2016, 22 odd projects were implemented, and these were valued at about 33 million and created about 101 odd new jobs. So the highest number of implemented projects came in 2014.
President of the Fiji Hotel and Tourism Association, Dixon Sito, says many Chinese choose to set up their businesses in Fiji as it is still a developing country.
There's a great deal of awareness of Fiji as a potential area for investment because, in developed economies you need huge capital and it's probably not so easy to start a business.
Minister Koya says the relationship between Fiji and China have strengthened over the years and will continue to grow. He says Fiji looks forward to more businesses, investments and projects from China. He adds we will continue to welcome substantial investments that will help develop the economy of Fiji. Kelly Pathala, FBC News.
Women can bring significant change to the global advocacy and action on climate change. This was the strong message delivered as women from 9 different Pacific Island countries gathered in Suva for the Pacific Women Climate Change Negotiators Workshop. Pranita Prakash reports.
Women as leaders and advocates of climate change are often overlooked.
Women and children are actually disproportionately impacted by climate change more than men. They experience pervasive and persistent inequality and discrimination that limits their ability to adapt and respond.
The aim of the workshop is to ensure that women's voices and participation are enhanced.
We can all be proud that our leaders have been strong advocates in raising the profile of our region on an issue that poses continuing and growing threats and requires continuing and urgent action if we are to secure a sustainable future for our region, for our communities and for our families.
22 women from 9 different countries have gathered here for the one-week workshop. The aim of the workshop is to empower women to confidently negotiate issues around climate change. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The Reserve Bank of Fiji will maintain the overnight policy rate at 0.5% to encourage investment and further strengthen growth in the economy. RBF Governor Barry Whiteside says the economy remains on a recovery path as reconstruction works continue following Cyclone Winston and the damage caused by the tropical depression last month. Whiteside says despite the setback from the natural disasters, consumption and investment activity have remained resilient. Rachel now joins us for the latest in the world of business.
Good evening. Coming up in business, Fiji Television records losses. And later on in Growing Fiji, another mall is coming up, this time in Lautoka.
And later on in sports with Jamie, FRU to sign new deal this week. Stay with us.
Na yavangunga andi moala radada ranavika au tikongona taunu singatoka ando talitaka na vakaronga na Bull FM number 2 na serre
ya dora chubuni kurnambili iborani batukara hambara binarna do talitakina na vakaronga na Bull FM number 2 na serre
Bull FM number 2 na serre.
Fijian Holdings Limited subsidiary, Fiji Television Limited, has made a loss of $469,000 for the first 6 months of this financial year, compared to a profit of $2.4 million for the same period last year. Chief Executive Nozab Farid says the group recorded a revenue of $4.3 million, which is a decrease of 15% for the same period last year. This is due to the reduced advertising revenue because of damage to its towers in Ba and Tavua post-tropical cyclone Winston, leading to poor coverage. This disruption led to some major clients discontinuing sponsorship and advertising.
Fiji TV2, we are confident in the coming 12 months will be doing wonders, because we have a plan, we are getting ready for new programs, we have changed our advertising and sponsorship model. We are coming with a lot of creative ideas. So it's a young team, and we are very confident that we'll be able to turn around.
Still with our stock markets, Elisapedi from HFC Banks tells us what's been happening with it last week.
The market slowed slightly last week. The volume traded declined to 7,911 shares from 16,227 in the previous week. There were only 7 transactions totaling $15,395. These showed a decrease of 66.25% from the week before. The overall capitalization of the market posted an increase of 0.32%, concluding the week at $1.33 billion. The South Pacific Stock Exchange Total Return Index also gained 0.32%, ending the week at 3,191.22. Vision Investments Limited was the favorite of the week, with the volume and value traded exceeding 50% of trading statistics.
Looking at today's exchange rates, the Chinese yuan and the US dollar remained steady at $3.26 and 47 cents respectively. Our regional currency, the Australian dollar, rose by 3 points to close at 62 cents. The New Zealand dollar dropped by 4 points to close at 64 cents, while the PNG Kina rose by 7 points to close at $1.32. Onto the commodities market, oil rose by 40 cents to close at $53.21 a barrel. Gold was also rose to close at $1,195 an ounce, while silver dropped, closing at $16.97 an ounce. Meanwhile, Fiji Development Bank Chief Executive Deve Thongnivalu will be retiring in March after serving the bank for more than 29 years. His position will be advertised in due course. However, in the meantime, General Manager Banking and Administration will carry out the core function of the CEO. And in our Growing Fijian tonight, residents of Wairembeta outside Lautoka will soon stop worrying about traveling long distance for shopping as a new multi-million-dollar mall is being constructed in the area. The $5 million mall investment will not only bring relief, but also provide employment opportunities for the local. Alan Stolz tells us more.
Residents here are overjoyed at the level of convenience this new investment will bring to their lives.
We don't have to go to town, anything like that. We have to stay here and we can go, we can buy things from nearby.
Big advantage for us because we are near to town. In case if my child, my baby, my son going to be sick like night time, so we don't have to go all the way to the hospital.
Faiz Khan and his wife Farzana have invested $3.5 million into the complex, Mickey's investment. Though work has been ongoing for the last 2 years, the idea to open such a place has been a lifelong dream for the couple.
We're from here, we're born here, we are from Lawaki. And we've been through hard times and stuff, and we see when cyclone comes and we got some problems and issues like floods and stuff, there is nowhere to go. We have to go to town. The roads are closed and the floods are there. So when we came to business and we were planning for about the last 6-7 years, when we have something to invest, we will invest on this area. That's our area, and people from here have to be served.
The new complex is expected to be completed over the next 14 months. Khan says he's already receiving good feedback from companies who would like to have a space in this new complex.
We penciling for pharmacy, entertainment shop, restaurant, hot bread, and of course we are not forgetting this area is developing.
Khan also encourages those who are capable of helping their community and the future generations to do so. Ellen Stolz, FBC News.
That's it from the business world. Sports is up next with Jamie.
Thanks, Rachel, and good evening. In sports after the break. Annual Coca-Cola Games will not be moving west just yet. Details coming up.
Hola, we from Lautoka. We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is Kanto. I'm from Ba. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Mula Fiji, my name is Florence Ratu. I'm from Call Number 1 in Tavua, and I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits every day and all day.
Hi, my name is Anna, and I'm from the soccer crazy town of Ba. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
With one tournament under his belt as Fiji Sevens coach, Gareth Baber should have a better idea of what to expect in Sydney this weekend. Baber and his team face another tough pool in Sydney, and the current suspensions and injury list isn't making anything easier for the new coach. Now with an update on the tournament and the Fiji side, Rohit Deo joins us live. Rohit, what's the latest?
Good evening, Jamie. Well, some good news. Kalione Nasoko, who injured himself in Wellington and missed the cup final, is now cleared and is available for selection. Meanwhile, coach Gareth Baber is aware of the threat posed by France, Wales and Samoa, who are grouped with Fiji in Pool B of this weekend's Sydney Sevens.
It was a good contest again. Three teams there, very different styles of rugby that they play. Samoa, we know we're going to be physical, and we've obviously got to play our game and stay across ours. It'll be tough first up. Wales and France obviously playing a slightly different game. France have been in good form recently. Aim in Sydney really is to keep progressing in the way that we have. We learned a lot this weekend about ourselves and the opposition, but namely ourselves, taking some hits and avoiding some obstacles is always the thing about Sevens, and there's a good flexibility in the group to deal with that.
I think the Fiji are going to win because Fiji play a very good game because some new players there.
I hope Fiji will do better and win the game.
I wish them all the best, and I'm actually pretty much sure that they will of course win the game. So all the best.
Fijian sensation Vilimoni Koroi had a great start to the World 7 Series, playing for New Zealand in Wellington. The 18-year-old received a lot of praise in his debut event and wants to turn more heads in Sydney this weekend. The Fiji Rugby Union are on the verge of signing a $1 million deal with an international company in Sydney this week that should see the national team attracting bigger apparel sponsorship deals.
Yeah, we're just finalizing arrangements for Sydney. That's one of the targets the board wanted to be achieved for us to properly engage a consultant in terms of licensing and merchandising, and hopefully everything falls into place before the Sydney Sevens, and we can sign an agreement with our consultant.
Plans of moving the 2017 Coca-Cola Games to Lautoka have been shelved due to the unavailability of facilities at Churchill Park. As Meli Tavanga reports, speculations were rife that the new-look Sugar City facility will get to host the biggest secondary schools meet in the country.
The Fiji Secondary Schools Athletics Association has come with its reasons on why the Fiji finals will remain in Suva.
Unfortunately, I think the City Council in Lautoka is not quite ready, and that is one of the reasons why we're coming back to Suva for 2017.
Wanga says discussions on next year's venue remains open.
I believe that come 2018, the Coke Games is going to be held in Lautoka. People are probably wondering whether it will be in Suva or in Lautoka.
FBC Sports also talked to people on the streets about their thoughts of Suva being the host again this year.
I think the Games Association should think about us living in the West. They should use the new tracks at Churchill Park.
The ANZ Stadium is much closer to us living here in Suva, and I think it's a good idea.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Secondary School Athletics Association will hold a meeting on Saturday to determine the zone meet dates for this year. This will then see the start of the school's inter-houses and zone meets. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
The Fiji National Rugby League and the NRL will hold a referee seminar on Friday in an effort to raise the standard of match officiating locally. The one-day event at the Vodafone Arena for local referees will touch up on some of the finer points of the game. Well-known NRL referee Gavin Badger will be at the seminar along with Ben Millington, the NRL merging referee.
So all the main referees that will be doing all the zone footy and the representing footy will all be level 2s by the end of the season. The better standard referee, the better game we'll have, and I'm sure that will help us towards the World Cup.
Due to unavailability of grounds, the Fiji Football Association has postponed the Piles Garments Champion vs Champion Series to a later date. Fiji FA President Rajesh Patel says Govind Park was supposed to be ready, but engineer certification is still pending. This year, Ba and Lautoka are the contenders for the Champions of Fiji football title.
Yet we are still working with the engineers and everything, and we'll see how best we can accommodate this important Piles Garments Champion vs Champion. But as of now, we have shifted to another date till we get confirmation from the engineers.
Now, play of the day, Brazilian football club Chapecoense has won its first game since the horrific plane crash which took the lives of a majority of its team members last November. That's it from Sports Tonight. Up ahead, weather with Angie, and in the world of the weird and wonderful, Jackie is going to show you a giant cockerel from Russia. That's coming up.
Well, Rokuta, my Vonokula and Rasa Lutoka, Duba Talita and Avarong on Radio Fiji One.
Bulan Arango Pina, my Corviri Nandi, Auto Talitaka Navarongo and a Radio Fiji One, na Procaramu ni Masmasu and Mataklai.
Oya Ochone Kurnambila, my Vunagoru, Namakete Hina Tokakwe, do Talitakina Navarongo na Radio Fiji One, Gena na Domoiviti.
Na Radio Fiji One, na Domoiviti na Vonga ni BNN.
It comes as a surprise. In less than a year, the South Korean tech giant Samsung is launching its new flagship, the Samsung Galaxy S8. Amazing new features have been leaked across the internet. However, release dates are still loading. And we join Angie now with the latest in weather.
Good evening and welcome to the Weather World.
It was quite interesting to sip on that warm cup of coffee and look out of the window as rain took charge this morning. It cleared for a bit midday, giving some sunshine and warming the temps, but cloudy periods took over again. Now let's check out what it was like in the west. It was good news for our friends in the west as temps got up to lower 30s with few showers. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, patches of light rain with fair skies was the weather pattern. And in the beautiful north, Lambasa and Savu Savu were at 31 degrees. For tomorrow, the day will start off with rain and gradually clear by afternoon. Further ahead on to Thursday, it's rain, rain and rain, but nothing serious, just some scattered showers. At sea, east to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots with moderate seas. And for those that have plans for fishing tonight, the next high tide is at 9 p.m. tonight with a low tide tomorrow morning at 3:23 a.m. And that's the weather scene for today, Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fijian Pulse today, we asked the people, should rapists be jailed for life?
I think that rapists should be given more severe punishment so that this high-profile criminal activities can be stopped.
Should give a harsher sentence because most of the rape victims, what happened to them takes them a lifetime for them to forget. It's a scar that cannot heal unless it's properly counseled and taken care of.
I mean, if there's an increase in the number of rape cases, probably there's something wrong in the system and the system needs to be abolished. So harsher penalties will probably minimize the number of cases.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, a giant cockerel made of manure has been created by a Russian artist to celebrate the Chinese zodiac year. Recapping the main stories, Suva High Court comes down hard on drug cultivators, rapist cops sent away for 12 years, and USA clarifies fake visa issue. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Now to our poll question this week, we are asking, is the Education Ministry correct in banning junk food from schools? To answer, visit our FBC website, www.fbc.com.fj. Before we go, today's shot of the day was captured by Johnny Tamuse. A new day dawning in Vunisea Kandavu, and as the famous saying goes, when the sun rises, it rises for everyone. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight from the team and I. Good night.
बत्तीरी सिंह टोका के आसफ अली बात करता है और रेडियो फीजी 2 हमें बहुत पसंद है और रेडियो फीजी 2 के अलाउंसर लोग जितना है बहुत अच्छे लोग हैं, बहुत लाइक करता है रेडियो फीजी 2।
हमारा नाम रमीता है, हम नेडी से है, हमें रेडियो फीजी 2 पे पुराने गाने अच्छे लगते हैं।
हमारा नाम सोनू है, बा मार्केट टैक्सी ड्राइवर, रेडियो फीजी 2 सब टाइम सुनता है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।